Welcome everyone to a new gameplay series for Farming Simulator 17. So I had mentioned in other gameplay series for farming sims such as Real Farm and I believe also in Pure Farming that I had not played Farming Simulator 17. I've played extensively Farming Sim 13 and 15, hundreds of hours into each of those, but I skipped over Farming Sim 17 for a variety of reasons. But a couple of weeks ago, I saw it on sale for it's something like $10 or $11, and I just could not pass it up. And I thought, what better way to get ready for Farming Sim 19 that will be out a little bit later this year. And I'm sure, by the way, we're going to get a lot more details on that at the upcoming E3 conference that's scheduled for, I believe, this starts this weekend. So that'll be good to find out more information about Farming Sim 19, but we're going to get ready for that by catching up on the series and doing some gameplay in Farming Sim 17. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this series, and that is the primary focus. We're not going to focus on making every penny we can or even worrying about money a whole lot. We're just going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to use a lot of mods that I think will help out in the fun factor. So let's go ahead and start out by taking a look at some of the mods that I've installed. All of the mods that we're going to be using in this game, at least for now. Who knows where we'll go in the future, but for now, they're all going to come from here in the official mod hub in-game. So let's see what I've got installed, and we'll talk briefly about these and how we might use these. So we've got the windmill water supply. I just kind of like the look of this overall. So we might use this one some instead of the in-game water supply that is provided. So again, that's just another option to have on hand. Courseplay I will be using extensively. In fact, I don't think I could live without it. In fact, that's one of the biggest problems that I'm having in some of the other farming sims and really getting enjoyment, or maximum enjoyment out of them, is that I don't have something like Courseplay to use. AI are absolutely vital to me in the single player experience. So then we've got a map, Westbridge Hills, which is the Farming Sim 15 map. So that's why I have it, just in case I want to play some on that, since it's very familiar to me, and the new maps in Farming Sim 17 are not that familiar to me. So then we've got a mod for the Bank of Hagenstad. And the reason I have this is it's going to enable us to do some different things. Number one, it enables us to get a larger loan if we decide that we want to. In game, I believe the maximum is 300,000. So it gives us the ability to go beyond that if we so desire and get much larger amounts. But the biggest reason why I have this particular mod is the ability to manage our fields. So we're going to start the game with, I believe, 3 fields that we own, and we have the ability to not only buy, but this mod will give us the ability to sell fields that we already own and also lease fields. So I think this is going to come in handy as we move throughout our playthrough. Disable vehicle camera collision. This is one of those things, it's just a quality of life mod. Every time, if you're in the follow cam, every time you go through a building or around some sort of structure, for some reason the camera wants to collide with that and it can drive you nuts. So this will hopefully get rid of most, if not all, of those problems. The tower silo is going to figure in, hopefully, very heavily. And the purpose of this silo is it will convert grass to silage. And one of the first things I want to do is get into the silage business. And this will enable us to do that. And it's simply going to make things a lot easier for us. I've done the manual silage process using the manual silos, dumping the grass in, leveling them out and so on. And then taking a front end loader to empty those. It's just more time and it frankly gets boring to me after a while. So we're just going to expedite that process and use a silo to convert our grass over to silage. So that's the purpose of that, and I hope to be getting a lot of use out of that. The final 2 mods that you see here, the bales mods, this is something that we might not ever use. I'm not even sure. I put both of these in there just for possible future use. The buy bales mod gives you the ability to purchase different bales, whether it's hay or silage, directly from the store. And I figure if we need those in a pinch later on whenever we're working with animals, this will at least give us the ability to purchase those if needed. And then the auto load pack I have not had a chance to use, but the purpose of this is also quality of life, to make loading and unloading bales a lot easier. But I've had very little time in game, so I haven't actually used this yet. So that's something we might get into later if we need to. So those are the mods we're going to start out with. Who knows what we might add or remove as time goes on, but that's at least going to give us a starting point. So career mode, right now I have no save games that I'm going. I only used a couple briefly just to test out a few things and just get a brief idea of what's going on and where several things are on the map, but that's about it. So we're going to start fresh. We're going to hit continue there. We're going to play on easy because I have really no reason to make things any more of a grind than they need to be. And we're going to be using the Goldcrest Valley map for now. We could play as male or female. I'm just going to leave this alone. I kind of like that blue color, and we very rarely see our player anyway. So it's not really that much that I'm concerned with. We're going to hit continue there. We're going to activate all of the mods that we currently have. Again, even though we might not even use some of them. But I am very excited for this. I know a lot of the excitement is because, well, everything's brand new to me. So I can't wait to get started and see what Farming Sim 17 has in store for me. So do we want the fields to be scanned automatically by Courseplay? Absolutely we do. Do we want our workers to earn wages? Yes, we do that as well. We do not, however, want the short guided tour. Okay, one of the things you might notice right off the bat is the fact that I have resized the HUD. I believe it's at 80% right now. Who knows where we'll go in the future with that. But for right now, it's at 80%, and I'll try to find a good balance on that. Let's go ahead and start out with the map. Again, I am somewhat familiar with it, just a little bit. I actually came in and tested out some with Courseplay, so with some new concepts for me anyway. And I want to see how those work. So that's one of the first things that we're going to do. You can see we have 25,000 in the bank. That's not going to allow us to do very much. It also reminds me I want to slow down time to real time, at least for now. We'll be playing around with that as we move forward. So it looks like we own 3 fields. Fields 12, 14, and 15. In fact, let's make our way a little bit closer to those. So we've got field 12 over here to our right, and this must be 15 right next to us. Okay, that's where we already have our first crop that's ready to be harvested. And then we have field 14 out ahead. So very nice. 3 fields very close by the farm. I like that. And in fact, let's go ahead. Let's minimize our map for just a moment. And let's get this guy started. Okay, now we're not going to use Courseplay right now for this. We're just going to use the standard worker. And now I'm going to get out of that. Let's move on and let's see what we've got next. Okay, now we're over at 14 and we've got a cultivator. It's ready to go here. Let's go ahead and hire him and move on to our next work. Okay, this is our seeder on field 12. So we've already cultivated over here. And so now we need to decide what to plant. Well, one of the big things that I want to do is get into silage production, and that's going to take a little bit of setup on the front end. I mentioned one of the mods is essentially a silage silo. We're going to put that here on the farm right over near where we spawned in. Actually, I believe is a good spot for it. So we're going to have that in it, but that means we're going to need to grow a lot of grass, and that's going to give us a lot of seed money to get things started, and then we'll use that money as time goes on to expand out our farm, buy new equipment, better equipment, and so on. So we need to put down some grass. Let's see, first things first, let's get rid of all these bright colors on the map for now. Okay, so I needed to see the icon for grass. You can see when I turn that on, all the grass around the map instantly becomes highlighted. We're not going to be messing with trying to mow all of that. We're going to stick to the fields. All right. So I need to see the icon. Now that I know what icon we're using for that, I can come back into select a seed. And I'm going to press Y. And there we go. So we're going to plant grass seed over here. Now we've already scanned the field, so we don't have to worry about losing the edges of our field. And let's hire a worker. Okay, who else do we have? So now we've got 3 workers up and going. We've got one that is currently in the combine. one in the cultivator, and then one who is just got started seeding over here. That's one of the things I love about this game, is you can have AI working everywhere. All right, so now we've got the ability to earn some money, because we're going to have some different crops already in our silo. And the way we're going to figure out what we've got is we'll come over to the prices tab, and you can see in our silo we've got these amounts already there. Now we may or may not empty all of these out right off the bat, but for the most part we're going to try to do that to get some starting money. Let's see, we're going to start with the barley because wheat is what we are harvesting on this field, so we'll save it to last. And so barley, let's see, we've got the bakery actually has a pretty good one, Mary's Farm. I think we're actually going to go with the bakery, and I'll show you why here in just a moment. We are going to need to, actually, I'm going to come around this other way. And let's see, can I run through these things? Okay, at least those bushes we can. So let's go ahead and get loaded up. Did I not pull in? There we go, start filling. So we're going to press R, we're going to go by wheat, again saving that to last. So let's go ahead and load up with barley. And so I've set up a few Courseplay courses just to get us started, just to play around. I will probably end up redoing several of these, if not all of them, as time goes on, just to clean some things up. But I wanted to put a few down just to get us started and to test some things out. So for right now, I'm going to bring this guy over here, and then in the future, depending on how much we do with these silos, I will make a course that actually includes the run through the silo to reload. But for now, let's see, we want to do grain transport, and let's see what we've got here. So we decided we're going to the bakery. I did not do one, or at least I couldn't remember doing one to Mary's Farm, so that's why I didn't want to choose to go there and sell, even though it's got a little bit higher price. All right, so let's test some things out here. So we've got farm to the main highway. Let's go ahead and load that one up, and I'm going to turn on the preview so we can sort of see how this is going to lay out. And then I'm going to add the Denton Bakery. So what that should do, hopefully, is have us get to where we need to be. And then in order to get us home, let's go store to farm. And that should connect up and bring us back home. Again, this is something I wanted to test out. And we'll just see if it works. It may not. And if it doesn't, we'll deal with it from there. Let's start at the first point, and I think we're ready to go. Make sure. So I haven't had much opportunity to use Courseplay here in Farming Sim 17, so I wanted to test some things out just to make sure things are working about the way I expect them to. And that's what we're going to find out. This is our first video. We're just getting started in our world, so I want to make sure of how some things function. And then hopefully by the time we get back, our combine won't have been full for too very long. Being the starter combine, he will fill up very quickly. Let's turn off this for now, since we're going to get to where we want to go, or at least we should, based on. Oh, that looks great. Yeah, just run right into that. Okay, definitely going to need to work. Okay, what are we doing here? That is definitely not how I drew that up. Okay, so I'm definitely going to have to make some adjustments to that. He just cut straight through there. Yeah, it is not honoring anything I set up. I had waiting points out there. It is not honoring literally any of them. Okay, let's just go ahead and stop there. Yeah, it's not honoring any of the waiting points that I had put out there. So I know now that I've got to redo that, which is no problem. That's kind of the point of. Okay, but I do want to test out after we unload. All right, let's see if he actually unloads here. He should. Yeah, there we go. He's going to unload here, and let's see how he does on the way back, because it does look like the waiting point. Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. Right now, just looking at this, I forgot to include one of my... Yep, of the 3 courses I combined, I forgot to include one of the courses. That'll do it every time. So this guy is going to pull out into front of traffic. Yeah, wow, that didn't go nearly as smoothly as I had hoped. But hey, that's how we learn. And I will probably turn off traffic at some point just to keep some of these issues from happening. It inevitably happens to me that these guys will get stuck on another car as part of the traffic, or something will happen. So eventually I'll probably turn that off. But for now, I'm just going to have a little fun with it. For the most part, not too bad. Then, of course, this won't be our only load that we're going to take. Let's go ahead and stop the driver. We're just going to manually take him back over here and reload. Okay, let's start filling, and let's see, we got 5,800. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go ahead and do that. See, I'm sure this guy is almost full over there in the combine, so but you'll have to wait, because now I want to test this out. All right, let's get rid of those courses and let's try this out, because I believe I know where I went wrong there. Okay, so we want to go. Where is it? Farm to the main highway. And again, let's turn on our route here. So that'll get us down to the main highway. And then we want to go where? Where is it? Main highway. There it is. That's the one I believe I forgot to put in there before. And then from there, we want to go main bakery. And then we want to go sort of farm. I think that will help us out greatly. But we're about to find out. So, all right, let's just go ahead and start, from the first, and let's drive that course. So a lot of what I do in, particularly using Courseplay and in Farming Sim, a lot of what I do is just have fun with it. There are a lot of times I mess things up, so in this series, you're going to see me mess things up. You're going to see things go sometimes horribly wrong, but to me, that's not a problem, because it's all part of the fun. To me, the destination isn't the fun. Getting there is the fun. So we're going to sell our way through probably most of what we got in the silo over the next first few videos, maybe 2 or 3 videos, and get some money from that. But again, we're not going to worry so much about getting maximum amount of money. We're going to try to keep things fairly simple. All right, so far so good. This portion of it should go a little bit better, and hopefully use. Okay, wow, he's going to go way out there. Okay, that was my fault on the waiting points, but not too bad. I mean, it could be worse. There we can see the carnage from the first time through. Right here momentarily, he will work his way over into the other lane. Hopefully have a little bit better approach. Now here's where the traffic is probably going to get us. Nope. Actually it didn't. he's going very slowly. Not sure why he was going that slow, but regardless, he did what he needed to do. And let's see if he can take this corner. Tried to give a little bit of room when doing this. There we go. He seems to have made it okay. At least with the smaller tractor and tipper combination. You get into some of the bigger ones, it might be a little touch and go. But for now, so far so good. Alright, the good news there is if we take out a stop sign, that's not the end of the world. It's the getting stuck that I'm worried about. Now, let's see how we do getting back out. This is where, yeah, this needs a little work here for sure. Pull right out into the middle of traffic. Alright, I am much happier this time. Oh, look, there we go. There's where the traffic becomes an issue. But not too bad. He didn't get us stuck anyway. That's the main thing. So I'm sure by the time we get back, our combine worker will be staring at us, letting us know that he has been waiting for some time for us to return and get him emptied so he can continue on about his way. But so far, so good. Our focus here for our first video is essentially just to get started, test out some things, and we're going to end up, after a few videos, 2 or 3 videos in, we'll have the ability, hopefully. Okay, let's go ahead and stop our driver once again. And let's go ahead and head over. Turn off our preview for Courseplay. We don't need it now. Go. So if we look over, okay, looks like we're about halfway done, maybe a little bit more in our cultivating. And let's see where we are. Okay, maybe about halfway done, or so, not quite halfway done over on field 12, just judging from that. Okay, so not bad. We're getting there. That's the main thing. And we're up to 37,000 in the bank. And I don't remember exactly how much this combine is going to be able to hold, but it should be around 7,000 to 8,000, I would imagine. Okay, 6,300, so not quite. Right now that we've emptied him, so it looks like we'll have to empty him one more time toward the very end, if not at the very end. So for our purposes here, all right, let's just go ahead, while we've got the wheat, let's just continue filling that up. And let's make our way down to the edge of the road. Okay, now let's go to next closest waypoint. Why are you going that way? Alright, so he had to go all the way across just to get on. Alright, but he's going, I think. It took him a minute, but he got there. Alright, we're going to take this to the same place. Again, it's probably not, in fact, let's take a quick look at that. The bakery, no, it's not quite the high. It's not too bad. So we're just going to continue selling at the same place. We're going to get ran over right here. All right, does it get us stuck is the question. No, it did not. Not the smoothest transition. Lots of work that needs to be done there, but not the end of the world. All right, now we need this car to get out of our way. Yeah, now you can get a glimpse into why I said that these were probably, these courses that I've set up are probably going to end up being temporary and will be replaced in the future. Let's see how these other guys are doing. Alright, so trains, that's another new thing that I've got to figure out how or if I'm going to be using those. Alright, so the combine is doing good. Let's see how we're doing on our cultivating. Very nice. Unlike some other games, you can set these guys to work and basically forget about them. Every once in a while they'll get hung on a tree or something. But for the most part, you can set them and forget them. There in the top right-hand corner, you can see just under $9,000 harvest income. That tells us that our delivery made it to the bakery. And now he should be on his way back to us. Let's take a look on the map. You can see the CP icon. And it shows us that he is now entering the main highway again. Okay, let's see how things are going with our cedar. That does worry me that this guy is going out into the road, because that means any and all traffic coming by has the possibility of hitting him. So when we set up our Courseplay here, we may have to put up some headlands, or maybe a little bit, lose a little bit of our field productivity, but it may be worth it to save a little bit on that, or we could just let this guy do all of the work on the field itself. Takes a little bit longer, but we could do it that way as well. So again, a lot of options, and that's really what this is all about. A lot of options to play however you want to play. Here comes our guy with Courseplay. Let's go ahead and stop it here. Let's see, how much do we have of... Okay, we got plenty of wheat. Let's go ahead and get some more. Of course, we already know we're going to have at least one more load of that as well. Let's try to get him out and going. Yes, that was a much smoother way of doing that, so we'll let him, again, he's going to the same place. That's perfectly fine for now. If we look in here, you can see I've set up a few basic routes, and what I've tried to do, let me pull up the map here. What I tried to do, you know, farm to main highway, you've already seen that. That goes from our farm right down to the main highway and stops. That's as far as that one goes. And because I wanted to test out and see how it combined in with some other courses with the waiting points and things like that, or crossing points. And then we've got the Gold Crest drop off here as a selling point. We've got the Gomez Acres, which is over here. Same thing, another selling point there. The main highway, I simply recorded a point A to point B from beginning to end there, so that we could use it to connect onto, and then store to farm will take us from our store here and get us all the way back to our farm. That's something very handy to that we can branch off of as well, if I've got enough crossing points in there, that is. So those are some of the things that I want to test out as we move forward, and I'll replace anything that we might need to. Do not get stuck, please. Are we going to be stuck? Yes, we are. Alright, so we can click on this little icon and it should take us there, but we're already there. So let's hop in, take over. Now have this guy drive the course again. We just needed to get him unstuck. But those notifications on the left-hand side of the screen are invaluable at letting you know when guys do get stuck, so that you don't have to constantly have up your map or your mini-map to see where they all are and make sure they're going where they're supposed to go. Alright, this pickup, let's see, I'm probably going to sell this. I don't have I tell you what, just for fun, let's go ahead and hop out. Nope, I do not want to hop out. I want to fire up Courseplay. And I want to do farm to main highway, and then I want to do main highway. And go ahead and drive that course. Because I'm going to take this guy to, actually to the store, even though we can't get him directly there. I'm going to take him down to the store. And we should meet our tipper on the way back. Let's see what this guy's going to do. Let's do maximum speed. Oh my goodness. We don't want to go quite that fast. Alright, here he comes. Alright, what just happened there? Where is he going? Alright, I want to see where he's going. Oh my goodness, he's going all the way. Why did he? Okay, never mind. It doesn't. It doesn't. We'll just do it ourselves. So a lot of work to do. Not sure why he didn't take that crossing point. But regardless. Yeah, selling this won't give us a whole lot of money, but it'll give us a little bit of extra cash. And any little bit of extra cash is less that we're going to have to end up borrowing in order to get started with our silage operation. It's very nice that we can move as quickly as we can move here. Let's go ahead and hop in the store. There we go. So we'll drop this guy in there. And we want to sell directly. So $14,000. Let's go ahead and sell that. Okay. So, okay, our combine is almost done. Let's find our tipper. There he is. Go ahead and stop. And we're running low on time for this particular episode, so we've gotten a lot accomplished here in our first episode. We're going to go ahead and line this guy up because we're going to need to empty out our combine here very shortly. But we've gotten a lot accomplished. You can see there our cultivating is almost done on field 14. Then over on field 12, looks like he's about 3/4 of the way done or so. All right, let's go ahead empty this guy out. And then we'll just stay beside him as he continues his way along all the way to the end. So this will give us a very good start for our gameplay series. And again, when we come back next time, we'll make sure we finish off our field work on the other couple of fields, and then we'll look at maybe getting a loan and getting started setting up things for our grass and silage production. Let's let this guy fully empty everything out. So we're almost at 6,000, so he's almost done. 6,300 or so? Yeah, 6,300 or so. Just keep driving along next to him so that when he gets to the end here shortly, we won't have to start this process again. Close out Courseplay, we won't be needing it. And then in the future, we can set up a Courseplay course just for this particular function, so we won't have to do this either. But again, all of that is to come in the future. But for now, that's going to do it for our first episode. Thank you very much for joining me. And stay tuned as we continue our gameplay series for Farming Sim 17.